Top 5 NBA most clutch players.
In the NBA, there's many players who have put in huge numbers during their careers, especially nowadays, when almost every other shot is from deep, and not really much of a defense is played during the season.
All of that looks cool, but the real deal is when the playoff times come, and the greatest players in the history of the league have stood up and put in the clutch time of those games that make the difference between a good and a great career. Most can agree that some players are calmer, cooler, and more confident than others when the stakes are at the highest. Hence, they are more likely to succeed in those situations.
In this video, we will present you with the 5 most clutch players in league history. Clutch shot percentage used in the video includes field goals attempts that would have tied the score, or goals that would have gave the team a lead in the final 60 seconds of a match, and or overtime periods in both regular seasons and playoffs. Number 5, Ray Allen. Ray Allen played 18 seasons in the NBA, and before Steph Curry came out, Allen was the man who made most of free throw attempts in the NBA. Allen stood out during his work routine, and he was always ready to make that most imaginable shot. Allen had a great career shared between 4 teams. He started with the Bucks and took them to the second round of the playoffs, then was the last great player for the Supersonics before they left for OKC. Previously mentioned work ethic enabled Ray to be on top of his game when he joined the Boston Celtics in 2007 and won his first NBA championship in 2008. He made numerous clutch shots throughout the playoffs as Coach Doc Rivers drew plays for Ray whenever Celtics needed him with the game on the line. And Ray delivered over and over. His most clutch performance with the Celtics was against the Bulls in the 2009 playoffs, where Allen scored 51 points. He also had 9 threes that game. Boston led the series 3-2 as the Celtics looked to finish off the Bulls on enemy territory. The legendary game went into triple overtime, led by a barrage of momentum buckets from Allen. With 22 seconds left, Boston trailed by 3. Ray hits a fadeaway corner shot with Joakim Noah all up in his face. The shot was just shy of the 3-point line and highly contested as his foot was lined. After a couple of free throws by the Bulls, the Celtics trailed by 3 again. They needed something big. The clock had 16 seconds left. Allen gets the ball off the inbound, gets a switch off the pick, and drains a tough 3 with hands all up in his face. This tied the game 118. In the third overtime, Allen's 51 just wasn't enough to carry the game. The Bills won the game and the series. However, Ray Allen and the Celtics got their revenge in the following game as they beat the Bulls in Game 7 and sent them packing. Although that may have been Ray's most famous performance, the most famous shot for Ray wouldn't come later until 2013, when he made a corner 3-point with 5 seconds left to go in a Game 6 of the NBA Finals. The Heat went on to win in overtime and win the next one for Ray's second ring. In his career, Ray made 36.5% of his clutch shots for 54 of 148 attempts. Number 4, Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was fearless when the game was on the line during his 18 seasons with the Indiana Pacers. In fact, he got the nickname Killer just because of his clutch shots when the game time had expired. His most famous performance came in Game 1 of the 1995 Eastern Conference semifinals against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, when Miller scored 8 points in 11 seconds to lead the Pacers to a 107-105 win. With his team trailing 105-99 with less than 20 seconds to go, Miller tied the game in just 5.5 seconds by hitting 2 quick 3-pointers. Then, after the Knicks missed a pair of free throws, New York fouled Miller after he was grabbing a rebound. That's when he completed his run by knocking down 2 free throws. The only reason Miller didn't lead the Pacers to the championship is that he played in the Michael Jordan era, and he simply couldn't go over the Bulls. When MJ retired, Miller took the Pacers to the 2000 NBA Finals, but Big Shaq and young Kobe were just too much for the Pacers. Miller made 87 of 230 clutch shots in his career, or 37.8%. Number 3, Jerry West. Nowadays, Jerry West is famous by the nickname The Logo, as the silhouette is on the NBA logo. But while he was playing, he was known as Mr. Clutch. It's too bad so little data exists from the 3-point era, because if we knew how many games West decided in the final seconds, minds would boggle. Unofficially, there were more than 25 games decided by Mr. West, and that didn't even include his 63-foot jaw dropper in the 1970 NBA Finals, a game that his team went on to lose. In the NBA's first 24 years of existence, his 2 buzzer beaters were one more than the rest of the league had combined in its first 24 years. West was voted 12 times
into the All-NBA first and second teams, was elected into the NBA All-Star team 14 times, and was chosen as the All-Star MVP in 1972, the same year that he won the only title of his career. West holds the NBA record for the highest points per game average in a playoff series with 46.3.
Number 2, Larry Bird. Larry Bird led the Boston Celtics to 3 NBA championships during the 1980s, winning 6 games out of 7 on the way, averaging 27 points and 9 rebounds in those. Whenever the Celtics needed one more push over the top, Bird was there to provide whether the offense or defense in the final moments. Bird was a one-of-a-kind player. Many considered him slow and totally unathletic, but with his basketball IQ and winning mentality, he went over every obstacle. Bird is considered the best player in Celtics history and was a 12-time NBA All-Star. He won 2 NBA Finals MVP awards, and he received the NBA MVP award for 3 consecutive years from 1984 to 1986, making him the only forward in league history to do so. Number 1, Michael Jordan. If there was a player who was born to shine when the game was on the line, that was Michael Jordan. One of the reasons why he's considered the GOAT, or the greatest of all time, was his ability to take the last shot and make it. The shot on Elo was probably one of the most iconic moments in NBA history, and probably the start of Michael Jordan's dominance in the NBA. In fact, this shot was named The Shot. If that doesn't tell you just how clutch Jordan was, I don't know what will. On May 7th, 1989, the Bulls were down with only 3 seconds left. Now, what most people don't remember is the shots before the shot. In fact, Jordan had 44 points that game. With 6 seconds left, Jordan hit another spectacular mid-range jumper. Thankfully, the refs were a bit clutch as well, as they missed a potential foul call as Jordan accidentally elbowed a defender on this play. He didn't extend his arm, which is probably why it wasn't called. Then the Cavs bounced right back, a quick inbounds and some misdirection, and the lead was back in the hands of Chicago. They needed something spectacular. Jordan fought his way to get open. He swung the ball through to allow him to get to a spot, but luckily Jordan's vertical allowed him to elevate to a point where there was really no contesting him. As he elevated and fell left, he let go at the top of his shot, and then what happened next was nothing short of iconic. The jump, the fist pump, the competitiveness unleashed, the world didn't know it yet, but basketball would never be the same. Jordan was the best when it counted the most. He won all 6 of his NBA final performances, winning MVP each time. MJ is the player with the highest playoff points per game average with 33.4, and he went even better in the finals with 41 points per game.